Welcome everyone to the ALD info session. My name is Eileen Merberg and I'm the Executive Director of Alpha Lambda Delta. We're headquartered in the Rochester, New York area, where I'm at right now, and helping me out is a student member. And Derek, I'll have you introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Derek and I'm a student ambassador for ALD. I'll be helping with today's meeting and I attend the University of Oklahoma. You may be able to see that in my Zoom background here. It says OU.
Right. Awesome. Great. These info sessions are just open to a bunch of different chapters, those with current open invitations. So you're all from probably a variety of different institutions across the US. So we're going to be brief. Just want to talk a little bit about ALD, answer any questions you might have, and we're going to actually anticipate some of your questions because I've been doing this a long time and I know some of the key questions that students ask, but please feel free to ask anything you want. Either unmute yourselves or just put something in chat if we don't cover something. And again, we try and sort of go through these 20-30 minutes, try and be pretty quick. So we're obviously an academic National Honor Society. Our niche is first year student success. So you did well your first semester, last semester at your institution. So congrats on that. And our mission is just to help you continue your academic success and to promote academic excellence. We've been around a long time. I'm going to talk in a few minutes about sort of scam organizations and what to be on the lookout for, but we're almost 100. Our centennial is next year. We've got chapters all over the country and now internationally. We're in pretty much every state, and we induct about 20,000 students every year. And we are certified. Again, I'm going to talk about the sketchy ones out there because there are some sketchy organizations inviting students, but we're certified by the Association of College Honor Societies, which I think is important and means something. So just to sort of make that difference between Alpha Lambda Delta and a bunch of other organizations. So again, you did well your first semester. Our criteria is 3.5 or higher. We're going to talk a little bit about the fee structure. Every honor society and lots of membership organizations have membership fees. Ours are really low compared to others. We try and keep it low. It is just one time, lifetime, like a lot of times students think they're going to get a reoccurring fee and you're not with us. You're a member for life and there's no additional fees. Again, we're going to talk about the difference between the national fee and the local fee because it's different for every institution. That local fee is different for every school. Derek, do you know what it is for Oklahoma? I think it's 20 or 25, I forget.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I should have them all memorized, but I can't remember 300 amounts. Lots of benefits. We're actually going to talk a little bit more specific about the benefits of membership, but certainly looks great in your resume. You'll be supported to continue academic excellence. Lots of leadership opportunities, a perks program, a leadership certificate program, honor cords at graduation. It's just sort of on and on. At a minimum, you do get a certificate and a pin, and that is distributed at your induction ceremony. If you can't go to the ceremony or maybe it's online, then you just get your material from your chapter advisor. Every one of our chapters has a faculty or staff member on your campus that sort of oversees things. And it's who we send certificates to. And then you could get them, pick it up from them. But the ceremonies are nice. We'll talk about ceremonies in a second. Oh, there we go. We're literally talking about ceremonies in a second. Again, you don't have to go to it, but it's really a nice event. And Derek, maybe you could talk about Oklahoma's, but you know, it's a chance for everyone to gather. You get your name called and you come up to the stage. Your parents could be there, family, friends. They're really nice events once a year when we induct new students. How is Oklahoma's ceremony? What's that like?
Yeah, it was really good. It was a nice ceremony, sort of informal, but very nice looking at the same time. And I enjoyed it. I think it was definitely worthwhile.
Good. Okay, so now we're just going to jump right into what I hear are the most common questions you might have. So again, if any questions come up, just drop them in chat. So just first and foremost, it's not really a question, but maybe more of a myth or something I've heard is like, why is it important to recognize achievement? And it's not, some students think it's not a big deal, but I hope that you think it's a big deal. I hope you are proud of yourselves for how you did last semester. We certainly think it's important to recognize. It's not easy. I've been in the business in higher ed. I used to work on a college campus, and I know that it's not always easy to do really well your first semester. There's a lot going on that first semester. So it's, I think, something important to recognize and celebrate and be proud of. You do not get kicked out of Alpha Lambda Delta if you don't maintain that. It's not a requirement. If you're invited and you join, you are a member, and that's that, no matter what. You don't have to go to events, you don't have to go to meetings, and you don't have to maintain the GPA. You're going to be encouraged to do all three of those things, but it's not going to be required. And I think you're going to get a lot of support to help you keep your GPA up, and there are incentives to do that as a senior. Derek, anything you want to say about the GPA piece or grades in general?
Yeah, so my chapter has some academic events like seminars about how to study and how to plan your day so that you can maximize your effectiveness of studying. And those things help a lot to keep your GPA up without having to worry about it too much. Yeah, so we have a wide range of majors in my chapter, and we all do pretty well.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a good point, Derek. We also don't want to stress it so much that you're stressed about it, or that it causes you anxiety. That, oh my God, you have to have a 4.0 every semester. That's not what we focus on. And do as well as you can, and get the support. And if you don't maintain it, that's okay too. Say something else about grades. It'll come back to me. Huge thing that I hear all the time is, I think there's an assumption about an honor society, and in particular Alpha Lambda Delta, maybe, that you have, by joining, all of a sudden your calendar is going to fill up with a million things you have to do. And again, not required. So your chapters will really vary for what kinds of programs they offer, but they're probably going to have some things. I know Oklahoma probably does a lot more. Bigger chapters have a lot of activities. Smaller chapters maybe once a month. So you'll have that opportunity. But if you're feeling like right now, I cannot commit to another thing, I've got a million things going on, that's okay. You can still join and enjoy the benefits at your own pace and not have to go to things that you don't have time for. Derek, anything you want to say about time commitment? How is it at Oklahoma? You guys probably do a lot of events.
It's extremely flexible. And for my chapter, we have about 3 or 4, sometimes 5 events per month. And some people only go to 1 event a month, and some people go to all the events. So it's really a thing where you can choose. Right.
Yeah, totally up to you. One of the things I always like to add about time, and then we'll move on to the money. Is that next? Yeah. Just be, thinking about how, if your time is strained and you don't have a lot of time on your hands right now, just know that could change for you. You're only in your 2nd semester, and you don't really know necessarily what's going to happen next year, the year after, when you're a senior. And so don't necessarily make a decision about time commitment right now, because that could change for you. So I guess just to say, don't pass up on joining this organization because you don't have the time now, because that could change for you down the road. And then this is your only chance to join. It's because we're based on first-year grades. This is the invitation you'll get. You don't get re-invited next year. So let's talk about the money, because that's always another, why should I have to pay a fee just because I got good grades kind of thing. So first, I would just say every student organization needs money on campus. Like your organizations, other student organizations, registered student organizations on your campus, they all have money. They all need money. They all use money, whether it's dues or a bake sale in the student union lobby, or they got funding from your student government. there's a lot of money going around in student organizations, and an ALD chapter is no different. It has to have some funds to function. The difference of the two fees I mentioned earlier. So the most basic fee for Alpha Lambda Delta one-time lifetime is $30. So that goes towards the membership certificate, the PIN, our leadership program, our perks, all the things you get at the national level with our scholarship program. Like $30 gets you all that for life. Now, if your fee is more than 30, that's because your chapter added on an amount. So your fee might be 40, might be 50, might be 35, might be 60, whatever it is. Anything above 30 is what the chapter added. And that's all money that stays on campus and supports the student organization on campus. So Derek, what are some examples of what that local fee goes towards? I can think of a million that I hear about, but what does Oklahoma use that local fee for?
We use our local fees for the local scholarships that we offer. And we offer those to quite a few students every semester, or every school year, I should say. We also have food offerings at many of our events and meetings, and that's all paid for by the dues. And one last thing is just paying fees that we have to pay in order to go to certain venues, like when we have a social event at a place in the city that is outside of campus. Sometimes it's a fun little activity, and we just have to pay a fee to get in there, and that's paid by dues as well.
Great. Yeah. So there's 1,000 uses for the local fee that you're paying into to be a member. And yeah, again, I just think that it's just a reality that registered student organizations on your campuses do have funds that they use, and you're already paying, by the way, without your choice. You're paying a student activity fee. Take a close look at your tuition bill, and you're going to see a student activity fee. And that's all money that goes towards student organizations. So you don't have a choice in that one. But anyway, there's, we try and keep the fee as low as is reasonable, just to offer you what we offer. So is it worth it? That's sort of up to you. That's, given all the benefits we're outlining, is that worth an investment for you? We certainly think it is. And that's just sort of a decision you have to make. And again, I keep saying this, but there are no hidden fees. There's no bill you get every year, every semester. Like, that's it, one time. Okay, enough about money. If you have questions about that, you can put it in chat. We're often confused with fraternity sorority life. Nothing against fraternities and sororities, but we are very much not a fraternity or sorority. We sound like one, obviously, because we have Greek letters for our name, but that's pretty common in the history of honor societies and fraternities and sororities. They were both founded, 200 years ago. They all use Greek letters. You can absolutely be in a fraternity or a sorority and still be part of this honor society and any other honor society. They're not exclusive. It's not like you have to pick one. Derek, did you do you have a lot of fraternities and sororities at Oklahoma? I think it's a pretty big Greek life, is it?
Yes, we do have quite a few. And while I'm not involved with any of them, we do have several members who are very active in our chapter, who are also in Greek life chapters. Yeah.
It's good to balance both too. So, we do face the issue of what about what's legitimate and what's not. Sometimes when you get invited to so many, they all start to look like spam, because some of them are sketchy. And that unfortunately sort of lumps all of us together into one. So Derek, I want to ask you to speak about this one. Did you get, when you were a first year student, your second semester, did you get multiple invitations, or do you still, or what's that look like?
Yeah, so it was a little bit more fast paced when I was a freshman and sophomore, but I still get a couple every year. And usually the majority of them are either legitimate or potentially legitimate, but every so often I'll get one that's just pretty obviously a scam.
Yeah. So, I just think it's, I think one of the main points other students have made is do your research. Like, you're obviously probably going to Google them, check their Instagram feed, like just see if they're active on campus. Do they have actual chapters that are active and doing things? Because if not, they're likely just sort of a money mill. Like, they're just looking, if they don't even have a home office anywhere, a headquarters, and there's no chapter activity, they're just looking to make a buck. So just be careful about that. One question, we're sort of, I hope, not sending mixed messages, but we say, you don't have to be involved, but if you are, you'll get a lot out of it. And it looks really good on your resume if you are involved, but it does look good on your resume even if you are not overly involved in the chapter. And that's because we are well known. We've been around a long time. Your resume is probably going to have sort of a section there on honors and awards or merit or whatever it might be, that category on your resume. And certainly we might be the first entry on that list, or at least add to your list on your resume. Derek, anything before I talk about the transferring one, anything you want to share? Is Alpha Lambda Delta on your resume?
Yes, it certainly is. I think it's on there twice, actually, because one entry is just for my membership and positions, and then another entry is for scholarships that I've received from ALD. Okay,
good. Yeah. Yep. Okay, and then if you do transfer, by the way, just two quick things. If you transfer to a school where we have a chapter, let us know, and we'll transfer your record in our system and then connect you with that chapter. If you want to get involved, you don't have to. And then the second thing is, if you transfer to a school without a chapter, where we don't have one, we'll add you to what we call our national chapter. And that's just a way for you to stay connected, hear about announcements, maybe new scholarships we've got, or announcing our scholarship deadlines, that sort of thing. And then another cool thing that I always like to add is, if you transfer and you're at a school without ALD, that maybe you want to help start a new chapter, and that'd be a great leadership experience to actually found a new chapter of ALD. So we're always looking to expand. So keep us posted if you do transfer. Just some of the key benefits that we've talked about, and this is on our website that you hopefully saw from the links in your invitation, but we do have this pretty cool leadership certificate series. Derek mentioned, and he's a recipient of scholarships. We give out $211,000 every year. And as Derek just mentioned, which I think is really important, I looked at annual reports of ALD chapters, and I think there's another 100,000 in local chapter scholarships. So I don't know if that's the case for your chapters. If you want to drop your chapter name, your school's name in chat, I might be able to offer more details about that. But a lot of our chapters offer their own scholarships in addition to the national. We have a pretty cool perks program. You could make back your membership fee just in that perks program alone. It's a discount program you can opt into, comes with your membership, but it could save you money on 300,000 different things, from pizza, food, health and fitness, oil changes, like a million different things. So that's our unique perks program. We offer a lot of career development content on our website. I don't know if you ever knew this, but if you ever work for the federal government, your membership is going to upgrade your pay scale by 2 from 5 to 7. That's, I think, pretty cool. And the federal government employs a lot of people. We've talked a little bit about the resume already. Derek, can you talk about the service? I assume Oklahoma engages in service activities?
Yes, that's right. We do a lot of work with things like animal shelters, and in the past we've helped out at homeless shelters and retirement homes, and also just general campus cleanup and citywide cleanup events.
Yeah, so lots of opportunity for students to give back. Again, we talked about the lifetime membership and your ability to just meet other people from outside your major. A couple of unique things, and then we'll wrap it up and answer any questions, is all students are invited. If you do become a member, you can come to any of our leadership summits. We offer them twice a year, in the spring and the fall. And the next one's April 23rd. just a lot of leadership development content. You don't have to necessarily be a leader in the chapter or even have an interest, but there's a keynote speaker and giveaways and a lot of cool stuff at the summit. So that's open to all students. And then a little bit more limited, but if anybody here joins and does become a member, leader within your chapter, you might be able to actually come to Denver, mostly free of charge. It's a weekend conference. Your chapter will cover your flight, and then it's 2 nights in a hotel at an ALD leadership conference. We go to a different city every year, and this year it's Denver, Colorado. Derek, last year was Tampa, Florida. Derek went to that. Anything about the leadership conference you went to? Seemed like a good time.
So I learned a lot from it and got to meet a lot of really interesting people who were in leadership positions in other ALD chapters. I'm really glad I went. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah, good. It's a fun time. Okay, the last thing to talk about, we've talked about nationally, all you get nationally. Derek talked a little bit about the local activities, but just know that it really varies, but there is an opportunity to do things locally at your chapter level in addition to all the national benefits. I just put in chat if you want to just peruse our chapter ideas page. That's just a sampling of what various chapters do around the country. Your chapter might be mentioned on that page, I'm not sure. And you can just sort of get an idea of what our chapters do on, service activities, intramural sports. Both of these look like intramural sports, and looks like a fall cleanup, probably for the elderly or something. It's not just for the first year that there is encouragement to stay engaged in the chapter, or at least stay connected to it all 4 years. It's not like, okay, this is just for first year students and now I'll be a sophomore and that's that. No, it's for all four years. So there will be opportunity to stay engaged, or at least to get benefits from it through graduation. Of course, honor cords are a big deal. So this is maybe your first honor society you're getting invited to as first year. You might get invited to more in your major when in your second and third year, but now is your chance that you could wear an ALD honor cord. We do stoles and medallions too, like over here, but that's our most popular item is the cord. All right, I think that might be. Just encourage you to check us out on Instagram. We're pretty active. Well, online overall, we're at National ALD. Instagram is our main focus right now. It kind of phasing out Facebook. Don't do a whole lot there. You probably don't either. We do have a lot going on YouTube, but mostly just educational stuff. And then we're on LinkedIn as well. But Instagram would be, if you want to really get a sense of Alpha Lambda Delta and what we're all about. We do a lot there, like Study Tip Sunday, Why Join Wednesday, chapter spotlights, student spotlights, highlighting all our scholarship winners, celebrating a lot of diversity and equity events, that sort of thing. Okay, so did I cover a lot? What are some questions? Oh, just in terms of the timeline, just pay attention to your invitation. Everybody's timeline is different. Your deadlines are different. Your ceremonies are on different dates. You're from all over the country. So just pay attention to those in terms of what's next if you decide to join. Derek, is there anything more we should say or add or highlight?
Not that I can think of. I think we pretty well covered most of it.
Okay, any questions? Please ask, because then I could add them to our list of questions that we want to answer, because I try and cover them all, but there's often one or two that come up. If you do think of something, you can email ald@nationalald.org. You can text, we do have a text line, so you can text that number. That information's all in your invitations and reminders that you'll get. But we hope you join. We hope you learned a little bit something about ALD. That's right. Yep. So you're not required to attend anything. Encouraged, yes, you'll hear about them unless you unsubscribe from whatever you hear about. And so you absolutely do not have to go to events or meetings, nothing required. And absolutely, you can join as many honor organizations as you want. It's not a pick one, choose one. I mentioned that earlier, similar to like fraternities and sororities. That's the case with fraternities and sororities. You pick one and that's it. You don't join another. You're a member of one sorority and that's it. But with honor organizations, you can accept and join as many as you'd like, because you're going to get invited to more. Like I said, particularly in your major. If you're a psychology major, you're going to get invited to Psych-Chi. There's almost like an honor society for every major. So you can definitely join those too. Good questions. What else? Anything else? Got a couple minutes left. Okay, well, again, if something comes up, text or email those two things on the screen. And yes, so that'll be on our YouTube channel. Although what I usually do is, I think I can't remember if I make them unlisted. I'll be sending a link to this recording to everyone who was invited. So if you got invited, you're going to get an email with the link, but it'll be on our YouTube channel, at a national ALD. Great. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I hope you learned a bit about Alpha Lambda Delta, and we'd love to have you as members.